Welcome back, gang. Today, we're having a story time. We're going back to 2021, 2022, 2023. And is it repeating in 2026, maybe 2027, maybe 2028? That's what we're going to talk about today. So throw your earbuds in, sit on the toilet, go for a drive, pump some iron, get some biceps, whatever it is you do while you watch these videos. So back then, 2021, we have the 25th anniversary getting ready to come out. Now, I'm not going to use the exact sets because I don't know. I wasn't that involved. I didn't really get super involved until like 2022, early 2023, buying Evolving Skies booster boxes. At the time, they were like $400 to $450 a box. And a lot of people said that's too expensive, that's overpriced. And a lot of the people that sold to me had bought at $300. So they only made $100. They just sold, a year or 2 years too early, which is a shame. I had something similar. Anyway, not part of the story. 2021, 25th anniversary. What happened around the 25th anniversary? Now that, we're less than 30 days, we are less than a month away from potentially the greatest set Pokemon has ever released. Probably the best anniversary set. I don't know. Generations is pretty tough. Anyway, again, back to the story. I like to get sidetracked way too much. 25th anniversary. We got slammed with reprints of all the sets around it. And we kept getting new sets. And they all came through distro. Now, the difference between that and today, it's pretty obvious. Most of these major reprints are going through big box stores, which is not going to the intended recipient, which is, your everyday consumer. Whoever it may be, your everyday player, your everyday collector, your everyday consumer. It's not going to them because you have bots with millions and millions and millions of accounts cooking Walmart week in and week out. 100,000 Death Rivals ETBs. How many of those get scored by real people that want to collect them, that are sealed investors, that are going to rip them, versus how many of those go to bots? Now, there's no real way to tell that number. 70% probably go to bots. 80% probably go to bots. How does that cool the market down? The only way that cooled the market down is all the botters that cooked the crap out of Walmart this week need to quickly flip them all, and they're just bringing the price down. But how did Pokemon do this 5 years ago? They went through the LGS. They went through distro. Now, again, big difference is, when they went through distro back then, distro offered at wholesale. Distro offered cheap. Now they're not. Distro's charging out the ass. Destin Rivals booster boxes are like $300 to $350, depending on who you talk to, depending on your distro, depending on, your spend rate. That's pretty expensive. That creates a floor for those boxes. I don't think we see Destin Rivals booster boxes go far below 400, if they even go below 400. Because of that, there's a floor now. ETBs, little different. I'm not sure exactly. Some people are saying 70, some people are saying wholesale, some people are saying MSRP, $50, $60. That's your floor. But what happened in 2025 was, we'd get I'm just going to throw sets out there. Fusion Strike, wholesale is $80. $80 booster box for Fusion Strike. Then let's just say Lost Origin booster box, $80 for those. Then here comes the 25th anniversary. Then here comes Fusion Strike ETBs. Here comes Brilliant Stars ETBs. Here comes Battle Styles booster boxes, Vivid Voltage ETBs, Vivid Voltage. It was like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. Here's another reprint. Here's another reprint, or you could call it a restock, whatever you want to call it. Here's more. And all these bills are coming due. So what does an LGS that's strapped for capital? Because as we know, a vast majority of LGSs are strapped for capital. I mean, it's not a super lucrative business when you have to buy $10,000 of sleeves to get, $1,000 worth of ETBs. It's not worth it. Well, now you're getting slammed. Say you place an order for 100,000 ETBs, $100,000 worth of ETBs. Well, now you're getting that $100,000 worth of ETBs. If you don't have that, how do you get that $100,000? You got to fire sell. And you're getting that every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. Oh, and the new set's coming out tomorrow or next week or whatever. You got that bill coming. So you just got to keep quickly churning that out. How do you do that? You lower the price, increase the spend. That's how you crash the market. That's how things come down. And it was just one right after another, one right after another, one right after another. Flash forward to present day, 2026, the 30th anniversary. Like I said, less than 30 days away, less than a month. Everybody's hyped for the 30th. What was just announced and confirmed? We have 4 sets being reprinted. Journey Together, Destined Rivals, Black Bolt, and White Flare. Now, I think the only one that's going to be meaningful is Destined Rivals. I mean, look at what already went through Big Box. Hundreds of thousands of ETBs every single week. We already talked about this, and a vast majority of them all went to botters. So how low is that going to go? I really don't see the ETBs getting below $100. Even with them going through LGSs, LGSs are going to mark them up because they had to spend on Ultra Pro binders. They had to spend on Ultra Pro penny sleeves and all this other bullshit. Cookie Run, and you could probably say Power World in there too, let's be real. But all this other bullcrap products they had to buy to get their spend rate up to get what they're getting. So they should charge more, right? So that's creating your floor price. I really don't know if we see below $100 from LGSs. And to be fair, I don't think we really should. That spend rate has to be high to get a lot of product. It really does. Now, I'm not trashing your LGSs. I completely understand. I'd be in the same boat. If I had distro, I'd be in the exact same boat. Well, I gotta buy penny sleeves so I can get 30th. I gotta buy penny sleeves so I can get Destined Rivals on the reprint. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in the exact same boat. I'm not gonna sell Destined Rivals at whatever, $80 when I had to spend $10,000 on penny sleeves to get $1,000. No, it doesn't make sense. That is not a good business model. You'd have to upcharge to cover your losses on the penny sleeves or to help cash flow when the penny sleeves don't sell. It makes sense. But that didn't happen in 2021 because there was so much product, you could just keep buying the product. The issue was everybody raced to zero, artificial zero, wholesale. That's essentially zero is wholesale, which is $80, $85, whatever, $75, whatever you want to call it. Everybody raced to wholesale cost just so they could break even, get as much back as possible for the next set. And it was just one after another. Are we going to see that? I don't know, but the writing is there. It's potentially there. Pitch Black, they're caught up. They are caught up on printing. What tells me that is, well, Perfect Order, Wave 2 was very late. Very late. It didn't come until, I want to say the week after Chaos or the week of Chaos. It was a very late second wave. Chaos was a little late as well, but it didn't take too long. Pitch Black was almost a week later, 2 weeks later maybe, and normally you see those 4 to 6 weeks later. So them only taking 2 weeks to get Wave 2 out is telling me they're caught up. They have to be. Look at all of the Destined Rival stuff that they reprinted. Look at all of the Prismatic ETBs they had reprinted a few months ago. Look at all of the SPCs they reprinted as we speak. As we speak, these SPCs are still showing up everywhere. Just like Destined Rivals is still showing up everywhere. And now they're saying, hey, here's 4 sets getting ready to come out around the holiday set, around the anniversary set, which we saw 5 years ago. Now, I know this is new information to a lot of people. Like I said, most of my audience probably wasn't here in 2021. I was barely here in 2021. I bought the PCTBs for the 25th anniversary, sold them way too soon, talked about that in a previous video. I had a couple ETBs, but the ETBs were all over the shelves, which is rumored. We're getting like 40% more supply for the 30th anniversary. Previously, it was a rumored 3x print run. Now it's rumored 40%. Nobody knows what's true. I think that's all just, fugazi, fairy dust, just whatever. But I'd believe it, especially if they're caught up. Especially if they're caught up. And signs point to they are. I mean, how else are they putting all the stock out? How are they getting second wave so soon? How are they doing all these reprints if they're not? We've known they're printing at max capacity for the last couple years. There's a new facility coming up in 2028. Maybe part of it's already up and running. Maybe that's where, they're getting the new seals on Destined Rivals for. Talked about that in another video. Or a lot of people are talking about a green label on the ETB cases. Maybe that's a different supply. Maybe that's a different print facility. Either or could be possible, right? They're caught up on printing the next set, essentially. The new set, essentially. They're reprinting a shit ton. And they announced 4 sets are being reprinted. Not announced, but distro has confirmed 4 sets are being reprinted. Not to mind you, we're getting a wave release of the 30th anniversary. Then we're getting Delta Rain, which is also rumored to have that 40% more supply. And then nobody knows what's coming next. Aura Seeker potentially, Lucario potentially. After that, nobody knows. Are the good sets the only thing that's keeping us afloat? I don't know. They could be. Or are we getting ready to just crash everything just like the 25th anniversary? Just like what happened before, where it's going to be, oh, here's a new set, but to get to that next new set, to get to Delta Rain, you're going to have to go through 5 set reprints of ETBs, booster boxes. Now we have booster bundles, so maybe they do a lot of booster bundles instead of the booster boxes. I don't know. But we got a lot of stuff that they need to reprint. I'm pretty confident they're going to reprint it all. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get some more prismatic before the end of the year. And then they're just going to start going down the line, just like they did before. And I wouldn't be surprised if something ends up getting the Silver Tempest and Lost Origin treatment. What is that, you may ask? Since, again, I know many of you weren't here. Well, right before Lost Origin and Silver Tempest went to rotate out, they got another reprint. Crazy, right? And they weren't even, I don't even think they were over MSRP. They were like $140 a box. Maybe they were like $130 a box. And then Pokemon says, yeah, they're getting ready to rotate out, but here's some more supply. And it crashed right back down. I think Lost Origins went down to like $100 a box, and I think Silver Tempest went back to wholesale. Or maybe it was around $100 a box as well. Something around those lines. Are we going to see that again? Are we going to get that with Prismatic right before it rotates out? Are we going to get that with Ascended Heroes, Destined Rivals? We could. What's stopping them? Nothing. Like I said, they're caught up, and they have a ton more print facility getting ready to come online. So my question to you guys is history repeating itself? Is your pattern recognition, for those who have been around for 5+ years, is your pattern recognition like blinking? Is it like, hey, I've seen this before? Because mine is, I've seen this before. Am I a little worried? A little bit. As a store, I don't have distro. I can't get stuff at wholesale. So I'm at the mercy of botters and scalpers and other people, other connects that either buy at wholesale or buy at MSRP. And, they got to make a profit. They ain't doing it for the love of wasting their time. They gotta make a profit, right? Just like I'm supposed to make a profit. So where does that leave me? Does that leave me in a no man's land? Because, if stuff goes down below MSRP, well, now I can't source from botters or scalpers because they're going to leave that on the shelf. I can't make money buying at MSRP at that point. What about the wholesale? Well, most of your stores are probably going to eat all that up, and then they're going to want to sell it for a profit, which is probably going to be market price. Now, if I had wholesale, that'd be amazing. I don't have wholesale. I don't have a distro. So I'm a little worried trying to figure that out. Maybe Japanese will get a lot cheaper in that regard, and I can pick up Japanese and then just kind of let the English stuff I have marinate. I love using that word. Let the English stuff I have marinate a little bit, and then as it gets more expensive, then I could offload that for the store. I really don't want to be using business income as a investment, really. I don't mind swinging it a little bit, but as a long-term investment like that, that's really not something that I would like to do. Again, the name of the game is to churn and burn. I need to get my numbers up, especially if I want distro to look my way. Selling $5K a month isn't enough, obviously. And I need to build the coffers. I need to build the wallet. I need to build that fat stack of cash. That way, if distro does actually call and they're like, hey, I need you to buy $5,000 worth of penny sleeves so you can get $1,000 ETBs of Dragon Ascending, I'm gonna be like, yep, I got the 6K right here in cash. Like, not in cash, but yeah, I got the 6K right here. I'll take it. Thank you. And then it builds me for next time. But right now, I'm not really in a position to do that because I have all my capital working for me, essentially. I have it in singles, I have it in sealed, I have it in stuff for swings, I have it in inventory that are actively trying to be sold. So I can't fuck around with that stuff that is like dead money, that no man's land where I can't do anything with it. And I'm scared when things go down. I genuinely am. And I think most people are that don't have distro. I think they're also scared because it's going to be a lot harder to operate in that regard. Most of my content revolves around sealed stuff, not singles. Now, in a down market, singles will still sell. It's just everything sells at a lot lower of volume. You're not going to sell things nearly as fast, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. But they do still sell. I mean, look at bulk. Even the summer slowdown, bulk was moving like crazy for me. So, I mean, that stuff will still sell, but when sealed bricks up at wholesale cost, I mean, nobody wants it. There's no money to be made. How do you as a business operate that? Do you move the Japanese, move the Chinese, and try to sell that stuff as well? Does it pick up? I don't know. I haven't tried to sell foreign product with an endless supply, with pretty much an endless amount of competition in a bear market. I don't know how that would work. None of my content revolves around, well, not none, but a vast majority of my content doesn't revolve around foreign product. So I don't know. I guess when the time comes, I will look to try to see what I can pivot to, what can sell, what will sell. I'll talk to my customers, see what they want, what's going on there, and go from there. But my pattern recognition is blinking at me like, be cautious. You know, the 30th anniversary is probably going to get reprinted a lot, probably going to be a lot of supply. Delta Rain, probably the exact same thing. And whatever set comes out after that, probably the exact same thing. It's going to come out probably 6 months, 8 months, a year, gets smashed with a reprint. And if it's a resilient set, like Destined Rivals is clearly a resilient set, it's probably going to get hit again. And it'll probably get hit again. Probably get hit again. And then it's going to rotate out. And they're going to go down the line. After these 4 sets, what's next? Mega Base, Phantasmal Flames, Ascended Heroes. Now, they may skip Perfect Order. They may. I can't see why they would, because it's still around MSRP right now. They probably want it a little bit below MSRP. So they'll probably do a small restock of some sort with that. But then Chaos Rising, Pitch Black, they're probably going to get reprints. They're probably going to fall below under MSRP. I'm not sure if Destined Rivals will, but if we get another massive reprint like this, it probably will. I'm starting to see that MSRP is a real target. It's a real thing that more than likely is going to be here very soon. I'm not saying we're going to see it with Delta Rain on release. I'm not saying we're going to see it with 30th anniversary on release, but it's looking near, and it looks like history is repeating itself. So let me know the answer to that question in the comments below. Is history repeating itself? Are you seeing the same pattern that I'm seeing? Do you think after these 4 sets, they're going to announce Mega Base, Phantasmal, Ascended Heroes, and continue down the line, hit all these sets with reprints? Are they going to hit them hard? Are we going to get new set, reprint, new set, reprint? Are we going to see the exact same thing? Let me know what you guys think. And as always, bunch of helpful links in the description of the video. After you smash that subscribe button, head on over to my website, maxpacks.com. Sign up for the email list, place an order. I get that out to you in probably 1 business day right now. That's about what I'm churning stuff out. And this is Max Packs. I'll see y'all on the next video.